Boy, I look rough. Only had about 5 hours of sleep. It's the morning. And the reason I've only had about The reason I've only had about 5 hours of sleep is we may actually be seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Yesterday we had a showing late in the afternoon, about 6:30. And by about 9 o'clock, we had an offer. Yeah. It's not a done deal yet. We still got a counter. So that's what I've been thinking about all night. What we discussed late in the evening is how do we do this, or how do we come back? We're worn down. We've been doing this for a year. We don't want to lose this one. We want this to happen. And so yeah, it's stressful. It should be very exciting. I don't think I'm going to get excited until I don't know, until I guess I can relax. We realize that right now we're going to have to hang tight for a little while, get an apartment, work out the next details, whereas before our plan was, hey, sell the house, sell the business, we're out of here, go buy a boat. And now we realize it took longer to sell the house than what we thought, if it's even done. This need to be doing a follow-up video to this, that the whole thing fell through. So there's more steps to take, but this is a very, very positive step. If we can get out of this house, we're going to be really happy. I think these are stress more than anything. God, it's been a hard year. For this to be over and be able to just get to the next step, get off this fucking plateau, be able to move on. And this offers the first step to that next step. So we gotta deal with that for the rest of the day. It's gonna be an exhausting day working on 5 hours of sleep. It might unfold. It might actually happen. Dreams might come true.
Very bad headache. What are you doing?
But you have very good news.
Yeah, we have an offer on the house. Of course, we have to get through due diligence. So, I'm not holding my breath on anything yet.
But
We have an offer on the house.
I'm happy we have an offer. I'm telling you, the two of us have got to be some of the most stoic people in the world sometimes. Finally have an offer, and we're not jumping for joy. I don't know why. I think it's just that anticipation of what if it doesn't come through. So, we made it to that next step. Here's the good fortune. This may be one of the last weekends that I have to sit out here and enjoy this backyard. Well, now that we have an offer on a house, it's time to figure out where we're going next. We're going to transition into an apartment until we figure out how to, or what we want to do and how we want to go forward with the next step. We haven't looked at an apartment since 14 years ago. Things have changed a lot, a whole lot. Apartments are really nice. We looked at 4 or 5 of them. What struck us as really odd or interesting is the things that they're incorporating. For example, this is forbidden in the majority of the apartment complexes that we looked at. And I'm not even interested in smoking in the apartment. You can't smoke anywhere on the campus. Not outside, not in your patio, not in the common areas, nowhere. There's no smoking. Never heard of such a thing. The second thing that caught us off guard was that they all have what they call trash valet, which means that they come to your door and pick up your trash 5 days a week. And we like, why? Why don't we just take it to the dumpster like you used to when we were younger? $25, $30 a month we got to pay to have somebody take our trash out. The next thing we found out was that they're doing DNA testing on animals, specifically dogs. If you have a dog and you're going to have a dog living there with you, they're going to take a DNA sample of it. Like, why? Well, evidently, if they find poop on the property, they're going to go test the DNA in the poop and find out what dog it is. Really? What if it's a roaming wild pack of dogs running through the damn complex? You're going to test every single pile of shit that you find? They are. Saw a bunch of apartments. The one I think we're going to go for, it's brand new. It's the one I have. I'll show you some video of just driving around here. Driving around when we were looking at it yesterday. The nice thing about it is brand new, and so we'll be moving into something that nobody's ever lived in, plus they're not booked up. Tiny steps. We are 1 week from the date of the offer, and today we found out that they're pulling out. So they're canceling the contract. Don't have any idea why. As best as we can guess, and best feedback that we got from the agent, talking with the other agent, is that buyers are just flaky. And interesting enough, yesterday we had a showing. And then we discovered it was somebody who had come to the house already twice and looked at it, and the last time they looked at it, they said they'd made the decision that they didn't want to move, they were going to stay where they are, which we discovered they live in the neighborhood already in the back. Evidently they've changed their mind, and they communicated to the real estate, our agent, that they wanted to make an offer. Since we're in contract, we couldn't consider an offer. I don't know whether they could have made one. I'm sure they could. You can do anything you want to. We just couldn't counter or go any further with it. So we're going to follow up with them today and see what's going on. So maybe by the end of today, we'll have another offer on the table and something else to start working on. It is a ongoing, gut-wrenching process. The highs and lows. get there. Well, to say that what's been going on in my life for the last several days has not been insane would be a complete and total misunderstanding or misrepresentation. Speed round of what's been happening. We had a deal. We had an inspection. The deal was pulled 2 days after the inspection. We had somebody come out and look at the house the day after the inspection who had been there and looked at it several times before. On the day that the deal fell through, we had people out there looking at the house to work on some of the things that were trying to fix on the inspection. Getting all that taken care of, the people who looked at it the previous day come back in the afternoon and look at it again. They see the guy who's working on our house. They know him because they had their house built by the same guy. They thought he was dead. They're excited to see him. They take that as a sign. 2 days later, we have somebody else come look at the house who we find out who's already looked at the house. And then we learn that they already have a contract on another house someplace else. Our agent is following up with both families and both brokers trying to find out what's going on. One family feels like there's been a positive sign. The other one, they're telling them that they're having difficulty closing on the house that they're trying to close on. So there's a possibility that they might want to go forward with ours. 2 days ago, we get an offer in the morning from the folks who are having difficulty closing on their house. And in that evening, we get an offer from the family who lives in our neighborhood that took it as a positive sign that the workmen they know. So now we have 2 offers. We go back with the first offer that came in the morning and told them it was way too low. We're not even going to consider it. The one that came in the evening, the next day, we follow up with a counter. Later on that day, we get information that the people who put the offer on the house that was too low that they couldn't close on the other house found another house that they wanted to move into, so they decided to pull their offer. So now they're going to look at another house. Our counter is countered, and the evening of 2 days ago, I have a conversation with the agent and let him know that I would prefer to not go further any lower. Let's just let it stand. Yesterday morning, the agent calls me, feeling like he can keep the deal going, and asks for my permission to give it one more try. I decided to go ahead and let him do that, primarily because the stress that it's putting on us and going through all this stuff for the last several days is beginning to really wear on us, and yes, I would like to get it done. So I gave him permission to give it another try. We're headed to dinner last night. We get a call. He's got the deal done. In order to make it work, though, him and the other agent had to agree to lower their commissions and kick in. So now they got skin in the game. So as of this morning, we have a signed deal again. The clock starts ticking. We have 10 days of due diligence. Closing should occur in like 45 days. All of this has happened in 8 days. Absolute, complete insanity. I couldn't have had any more stress, or I can't even think of a way that I would have had more stress. We'll see what's going to happen from here. Hopefully, the next time we update, that we are still moving forward. We're done with due diligence, and we're moving forward to closing. Fingers crossed. Well, I'm out on appointments, and although I guess videoing and driving is not the safest thing to do, sometimes it's the only time I have to just have a short conversation and talk about what's going on. We came out of due diligence on last weekend. We are now in the phase where the homeowner is got the appraisal scheduled for Monday. So after this weekend, so in 3 days. And then that'll put us into the beginning of the month. And then there should be a closing in 27 days. So where we are right now is we're just kind of in a limbo and waiting for the next door to open.